Okay, so now the template or the important components of a proposal are obviously you have to have a clear-cut objective. You see, you must in your mind you should know that what are the actual objectives of your research. You see, that is you should give a roadmap of your project, state your objective directly, and I mean there should not be much verbosity. You see, normally we tend to write a lot of English into it, but the actual meat of that paragraph is missing. You see, so be careful that you should be very clear about the objective, and it should not be very long. It should be very succinct. You see, and it should be based on a hypothesis. You must try to give a hypothesis and try to answer, have your proposal based on that hypothesis. You see. And all these matters about the background is based on your own knowledge of that area. You see, discuss the way your research problem was discussed before. That is, the view of literature is absolutely important. You see, because without that, no reviewer will accept your statements. You see, and the significance is that your study will add what extra or what new knowledge your study is going to add to the research area that is already involved. You see, okay. And then we have a theoretical framework. If it relates to your work, it should be discussed, and all the definition and categories and the plan to use in your research. Methodology is an important part which shows the competence of the investigator, that indicates that how well read or how accomplished the scientist is or the principal investigator is. And so therefore you have to describe the research methodology properly. Okay. Expected outcomes. Then we have expected outcomes. We discuss the results you expect to get from your investigation. References, and the references are important because these have to be up to date. You see, I mean, you shouldn't be giving 15 years old or 10 years old or 5 years old references. These have to be virtually updated. You see, okay. Let me see what is now. This is another very important aspect of it, that every research grant giving agency has its own format. You see, that is the format for writing the proposal or the components of that. You must read the questions very carefully, because these must be answered in a very precise manner. I keep on hammering on this issue that you should avoid all the verbosity. You see, it should be very succinct and precise, and read carefully the questions asked and respond in a precise manner. This is very important. I've been reviewing many proposals, and I have to sometimes make an effort to find out the objectives, or where are the objectives, or what are the objectives. You see, so these have to be spelled out very precisely. Okay. Now, most important part of all this is the review process. You see, normally some funding agencies send you back the reviewer's comments and ask you to either answer back or to incorporate the comments into your proposal, or even if it is rejected, sometimes the comments are also passed on, and this is part of your education as well, and in any case, the viewers' comments must be taken seriously. You should never think that the viewer is biased, or the viewer is trying to trying to put you down or something like that. You see, you should take the viewers' comments very seriously and respond to them logically. If the viewers has given a comment which you think is appropriate, you should immediately respond and incorporate that into your proposal. And obviously you have to then amend the proposal accordingly. If you feel very strongly that the comments or the observation that the viewer has made are not accurate or not accordingly appropriate, you have every right to answer back and put forth your point of view. In that case, it is then it is up to the organizer or up to the manager of that fund to accept your point of view or not. You see, in most of the cases, the comments have to be incorporated or the comments have to be accepted. You see, that is the best and the logical route for getting the grant. You see, okay. The project operation, obviously, that it is understood that you have to submit the progress report of the project promptly. Always stick to the sanctioned budget and work according to the objectives of these two are very important. You see, sometimes in my experience, the work which is reported is not according to the objectives of the project. You see, idhar-udhar ki, बातें उसमें शामिल होती हैं, and it is not according to the objectives, you see. And then secondly, the sanctioned budget is a kind of a line budget that you are given some budget for equipment, some for hiring research students or fellows, etc., and some for having consumables. You should not merge all of them. You should spend according to the sanctioned budget. You see, this is very important because your financial statement goes in every progress report, and it is evaluated by the auditors, and they make a lot of objections if you have not spent the budget accordingly. You see, so you have to be careful about that. Now, I think this was mostly about all the funding agency, all the writing proposal. I must say that writing the proposal is all dependent on your own knowledge. You see, you can't one fine morning get up and say, "Oh no, now I'm going to write a proposal." You see, the proposal writing means that you have an up-to-date knowledge about that area. You have read all the related literature, and you are up to date about all these activities. So only then you will have some new ideas. Your ideas have to be new, novel, innovative. Only then you stand a chance for success. You see, Otherwise, the viewer can very easily say that there is no novelty in your proposal. That is generally most of the time, this is the comments that the viewers make, that there is no novelty in your proposal. So you have to think hard in order to incorporate any novelty in your proposal. You see, this is absolutely important. You see, and this is the route to success. You see, that if you are able to highlight the novelty in your proposal, then half the job is done. You see, okay. So please, and then that novelty comes if you know the area, if you know that what other people have already done, and and therefore your objectives are different from the others, you see, okay? And that will result in creation of some new knowledge, you see. So these 2-3 things are extremely important to keep in mind while writing a research proposal, you see. So now I will go through and share with you some of the national funding agencies and then some of the international funding agencies. You know, I mean, nowadays, I mean, it is so easy because everything is available on the net, you see, you know. If you do a careful search of all these websites, you will find so many opportunities for applying for a research grant, you see. So as far as Pakistan is concerned, the main funding agency is HEC, you know, and HEC, as you can see, has a different, and these are all available on the net. I mean, HEC runs a very comprehensive website, you see, and lots of information is already available on the net, you see. And I've taken some screenshots from their website just to demonstrate the areas that are there with HEC. I mean, they have got a very ambitious research grant program with HEC Research Awards, recognized journal, digital library, etc. But I have these. Yes, these are. They have. I mean, all the competitive research grants. You know, they have been holding this Grand Challenge Fund, Local Challenge Fund, Technology Transfer Support Fund, Innovative and Collaborative Research Grant, National Research, NRPU, which is normally you all are aware of it, I'm sure, and then Technology Development Fund, Problem-Based Applied Interdisciplinary Research Program, Rapid Research and Innovation Initiative, and CPAC Collaborative Research Grants. You see, many of these grants have are advertised and have a time limit, have a last date for applying, and this cycle goes on. Some of the Grand Challenge, Local Challenge have been, first round has been completed, I think. It is all near completion. So we will have to wait for the next call for having competitive research grants. Okay, so you can see that there are so many opportunities as far as HEC is concerned, and the Grand Challenge, Local Challenge, and the Technology Transfer Support Fund, etc. These are some of these are World Bank funded, and so they have probably a revolving fund also. I mean, for the second round, you see. But the main program of HEC that you all are aware is the National Research Program for Universities, which is NRPU, and which I'm sure many of the universities participate in. And for example, this year, FCC or FC College has been able to get about 11 or 12 grants from NRPU and also from the Local Challenge Fund. So these are indications of the level of research and infrastructure in that institution. Sorry. Okay, and then in addition to that, we have a research support grant, you see, in the form of the Revel grants for organizing seminars, library support grant, and textbook writing support grant. You know, HEC is trying to do everything to facilitate, to help expand the research infrastructure of the country. And then we have the joint with other countries, PARC France Peridot Research Program, PARC Turk Researchers Mobility Grant, Pakistan Program for Collaborative Research, Pak-US joint research program with USA. So these programs are also there, and you have to be, you have to have a partner in all these countries in order to submit a proposal, you see. Then the search for innovation grant is also establishment of Office of Research. This is for establishment of ORIX, and then establishment of business incubation centers, patent filing, innovator seed fund. So these all are there, and you have to go to the website in order to see the details about all these. And with so many programs, I'm sure that if you are serious, and you can have some grant out of those, you see. And also, I would general opinion about all this is that when you write a proposal, you should be very clear that to indicate what is the infrastructure of your existing facilities and what extra you need, you see. Many of the proposals that we have rejected are because they try to have all this equipment to equip a laboratory. It is not for the proposal, but it is just a mechanism of equipping their lab, you see. For this, I mean, all these research projects or grants are not meant for that purpose, you see. If you have to equip your lab, you have to write a separate proposal, which are called developmental grants, you see. I mean, these are there for the public sector universities, but for the private sector universities, you should ask for that facilities from your administration, you see. I mean, these are not meant for putting it into the competitive research grants, you see, because these are meant for doing a particular research project, you see, okay? These are not meant for equipping the laboratories, you see, okay? So this is just, many of the proposals are rejected just on this basis that the PI has asked for many equipment which are, basic equipment which should be there in any research lab, you see, okay? Let me go on. This is a specimen, for research grant format, you see. So I just copied it, and you can see the, the name of the proposal, whether it is basic, applied, or community, or commercialized, thematic, etc. And these are the subjects: major field, minor field, specialization, Turnitin, similarity index, details of principal investigator. So these are all components of a research proposal. You see, these are, if you have already completed any NRPU project or ongoing or under review process. You see, this is the, as I have already mentioned, that you have to state whether it is basic or applied or community based or commercialized. So this is an example also that, for example, if agriculture is a major field, soil science subject is agriculture, then major field is soil science, for example. Minor field is macronutrient, specialization is in modeling, So this kind of information is essential for HEC, you see. These are again, details of principal investigator and etc. So, I mean, one of the things that is encouraged in all these proposals is that an evidence of collaboration. You see, we want a collaborative projects between different labs, different institutions, and their participation has to be spelled out very clearly that what will they be doing, you see, So it is not only a formality, but it has to be shown that if you are collaborating with another institution, we should know that what kind of work will be done there and what work will be done by the PIUC. Okay. The other organization which is involved in supporting research is Pakistan Science Foundation. You know, this is a institute. I mean, they also have different grants, you see, to support the scientific societies, also grants for publication of journals, grants for award and fellowships, grants to science. They're important is the NSLP, which is Natural Sciences Linkages Program, which I have been one of the person to initiate that. And that is linkages between US and Pakistan. It was based on an endowment given by as a result of the monetization of some of the wheat which was sent by the US a couple of years back. You see, you know, it was about in 2004 or 5, I think. You know, and based on that, the endowment was established, and the markup of that is being used to support competitive research grants, and this is related to natural sciences, and it includes all life sciences, biology, chemistry, etc. Okay, so you can have that also. These are the forms for that, for fund and natural, you know. You have to submit a concept note first, and then once that concept note is accepted, then you are asked to submit a full proposal, you see. Okay. These are the format. These are all, everything is available on the net, you see. So you can go to the other organization is Pakistan Academy of Sciences. I mean, this is this supports some research by the research of the fellows of the Academy of Sciences and also of the members of the Academy of Sciences. So you either have to be a fellow or have to be a member in order to avail the facilities of Pakistan Academy of Sciences. These are the research grants, you know, but these are essentially for the members and fellows of the academy. And these are small grants, you know, they're not big grants, you see. Okay. This is another very attractive, similar to NSLP. It is Ignite. It is managed by the ICT, by the Information Technology Division or the department, and it is for all the. It gave you seed money for developing any of the IT-related projects. Ignite funds startups and innovative projects that utilize fourth industrial wave of technology to solve local problems and target global opportunities. Okay. They have got a fairly good amount of money, and that comes from the cess fund that they levy on all the mobile companies and all the telecommunication companies. I mean, a certain percentage of taxes is levied on them, which is the basis of this fund. But this fund is only for the IT-related activities, you see. The other organizations, small grants are available to ICGB. ICGB, as you know, is the International Genetic Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology located in Trieste, Italy, and they have a collaboration with Comstack, and which offers grants and short-term fellowships. You see, these are all, small grants, you see, which are, there is every area, you see, and they are, all over the Muslim world is eligible to apply for those, you see. There's another organization called Human Frontier Science Program, and these promote international collaboration in basic research focused on the elucidation of the sophisticated and complex mechanisms of living organisms. You see, they are all based on the life sciences, you see. These are all Human Frontier for Science program. There is another organization called PCST, which is Pakistan Council for Science and Technology, and they don't give too many research grants, but they manage all the research, and they list all the publications and all, and they normally award some prize money to the people who have published the maximum, you see, So that's that we call a productivity allowance, you see, Now let me move on to international agencies. The foremost international agency is the US National Science Foundation. This is, it also has a very elaborate website. I would urge you to go to that website, and they have got an international funding section also, whereby you can, if you have a collaboration with an American scientist, you can jointly prepare a proposal, and NSF will fund that, you see. NSF is well known for supporting basic sciences, you see, and they have no bar on, there are social scientists also, economists as well, and so it supports all areas of natural sciences, life sciences, social sciences, and humanities, you see. But you have to go to the website and look for different areas, different programs, and you see, I was a recipient of an NSF grant a couple of years back, and this was because it was in collaboration with an American scientist, and that American scientist can visit you and spend some time, and also that interaction is normally very useful. Now the times have changed. Now nobody would like to come to Pakistan so easily. Anyway, let's hope for having a better situation. What's the cursor? Now, the other agency is, I would urge you also to look at it, is the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, you see. This foundation is the one which gives fellowships to young PhDs, and that is a very prestigious fellowship, because once you get that fellowship, it's a lifelong support. You see, they have then, even if you have finished they allow your fellowship for 2 years, and once you have that, you are eligible to apply for several things. Apply for research equipment grant, for travel grant, for research linkages program and all that, you see. So this is the, I would urge all of you to try to look at this syllabus for Humboldt and try to compete for these fellowships, you see. And these are all obviously in Germany, and then these are very useful foundations. I am an Alexander von Humboldt Fellow, and I have used this fellowship to get research grants, research equipment grant, also travel grants as well. And even now I have a research linkages program with the German institution. So this is, I will request you, urge you, to look at their website, and this is essentially for people who have done their PhDs, and it's a good opportunity. You see, this is, I mean, please visit their website, you see. Okay, the other one is for EDR, for research on disease of poverty. And these are also infectious diseases. If somebody is interested in that, I mean, this is a very attractive agency to apply for, you see. Another very competitive agency is Wellcome Foundation. It is all health related, but they also do some health and social sciences grants also, you see. These are all for this starting dates. The other agency is TWAS, the World Academy of Sciences. You see, they also give research grants, which are small research grants, especially to majority of these agencies give a preference to female applicants, you see. So all the females have an advantage, you see, that that they get a preference in any of these grant applications, you see. And they WAS also gives their researchers in developing countries, allowing them to purchase specialized experimental and consumable supplies and support, and they also support Master of Science students. They call for in basic sciences only for individuals, and for groups will open in the, I mean, the thing is that you keep looking at their websites and you will find when it is announced and what is the last date. Yes, another very, very attractive agency is IFS, which is the International Foundation of Science. It is located in Stockholm, Sweden, and it's a very old. As it says, it's about 50 years old, and I had the honor of being its member of the board for about 9 years, and I know this organization. This is I mean, one of the advantage of this organization is that once you have a grant from IFS, it is an opening for a much bigger grants by other institutions, you see, So they only gave about 10 or 12 $1,000 per year. It's for 2 to 3 years, then you can get that. But they have now moved on. Earlier on, it was only limited to biological sciences, but now it has moved on to other sciences. It's overall social sciences as well, and you see, and others. You see, so this is all the young PhDs or who are just beginning of their career. IFS is the most appropriate agency to apply for. You see, and it says that basic research grants are also available. This was the objective, generation and disseminate scientific knowledge by earlier career LLM, this is East developed countries, scientists, and enhance capacity of early career scientists to influence the narrow. So it is for all areas, So I would request you to please consider it and try to find funding for your own research. GEF is another one, which is a global environmental facility, and this is well known for supporting fairly bigger grants, which are, not for individuals, but for groups or the teams can apply for these grants, and they fund, and it's more than $100,000. You see, you can apply for. You see, these are the East developed countries fund special climate. They have a lot of emphasis on climate change, and obviously, that is an area which many of you are interested in. Now, there is another Japanese one, Nagao Natural Environment Foundation, you see, and that is also very, attractive, and you should try and try your luck in this organization as well. British Council, I'm sure all of you are aware of. Once upon a time, they used to support a lot of research, but nowadays their activity has reduced. But still, you see, you can try to find their activities. You see, there's another one, ASCAP. It is, it's based on the Sustainable Developmental Goals, and this is another interesting. It is a UN-based activity. Then JICA, all these are not for individuals. I think these are for, if you've got a team of scientists, they can apply for different proposals, you see. And JICA also funds, it's a developmental agency. They have been funding big institutions, in the country as well. Sigma, the Scientific Research Honor Society. This is also, something interesting. The Asia Foundation is also an agency which supports research, not necessarily individual research, but for groups or teamwork, you see. NESTA is another one. Global Research Council, you see, this is also, these are things you have to go to their websites and try to find things of your interest, you see. This is global innovation. This is CIDA, you see, this is Canadian International Development Agency. Again, these all developmental agencies are, ones which support larger projects based on your teamwork, you see. International Development Funding, which is it's a UK-based Commonwealth Development Office, and they also, it's the forerunner of ODA. It was earlier on, IDRC, similarly a developmental agency which funds bigger grants, empowering people for. This is Islamic Development Bank. They also are involved in bigger grants, and I happen to be a recipient of one of those. It was $300,000 for establishing a bio resource center. And anyway, that was, but this is also, you have to look at their website, you have to get involved, you see, in order to make use of these organizations. You see. The food effect, this is NORAD. It's a Norwegian agency, similar to SIDA and all others. They also have their setup, and NORAD has a lot of. Okay, I think that's this probably. Now, this is the most important part. I have listed all the addresses of all the websites, and that you can. I will ask Kauser Ayub to circulate the whole presentation to all of you, so that you will have some idea. And these are all website that you should take a note of that, you see. Okay. Thank you so much for your attention, and I will be happy to answer any questions if you have.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kauser. So for the feedback, I'm going to open the poll. You're requested to please fill that, and if you can type your questions in the chat so that I can convey it to Dr. Kauser. Moreover, I would like to add that the recording and the material will be shared within 2 to 3 days with all the participants. Dr. Kauser,
Yes.
Mr. Farasat Jabeen wants to ask that, Mr. Farasat, just give me a second. Lost that.
National
Endowment. Wanted to ask if National Endowment for Humanities, NEH, is in the US supports Pakistani projects?
I have no idea. You should check the website.
Okay. Miss Ariba Jabeen is asking, sir, your focus was on grants. Why you didn't explain proposal writing?
I did explain in the beginning. You see, I mean, this is another thing, which is my opinion, that if a person has done his or her PhD and has published some papers, and why should he be trying to learn how to write a research proposal? He should already know that. I've explained the ingredients, that you should have a clear idea, you should have clear objectives, you should have clear methodology, you should have clear plan of work, and what else is there? Any other view on that, you see?
Madiha Ahmed has a question. She says that we should available one grant at a time, or is it possible to avail more grants at the same time?
You see, I mean, that you can do, if you are applying to other agencies. You can't have more than one, I think, from the same agency, you see, and on the same topic, you see, you should have, I mean, everybody has a different, diverse interest, you see, so you can have one or two or three even projects in different domains, but different agencies, you see. Okay.
I just want to to add something in this conversation. So Dr. Kauser Abdullah did talk about proposal writing in the beginning. It's just that we have more sessions according in the structure for the writing skills for humanities and social sciences, natural sciences, and even on literature review we have sessions. So the entire research course is divided into multiple sessions. You cannot just expect one thing to be covered in the entire session. So Dr. Kauser Abdullah has done a great job. Kaur, can you please have a next question?
Ms. Shomaila Humayun is asking that how much a PI, a personal investigator, get out of the whole grant? Any percentage you know?
Yes, I know. You see, in earlier times, I mean, I think that has been changed a little bit, that the PI was given an honorarium equivalent to a 1 month salary per year. Okay. But now I think they have moved a little bit better. I mean, it is some percentage of his or her salary, which is given sometime every month or sometime per annum, you see. So, you know, it's a quite handsome amount now, you see. Any other question?
No, sir. There's a lot of people are thanking you for all the wonderful session. Can a student get grant or is it only for faculty? Someone from Sakhar idea.
Yeah, no, it's normally for the faculty. By faculty, I mean a person who have done at least PhD or even an MPhil who is on the faculty, you see, or is a researcher. But normally, I mean, I would like to say that it is for people who are beginning of their careers, and they maybe MPhil and on a faculty, but preferably all these grants are given to a person who has already completed his or her PhD.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kauser, for your time and for conducting an insightful session. And thank you to all the participants as well, both from FCCU and non-FCCU participants. As explained earlier, the video recording and the material will be shared within 2 to 3 days. And thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for all of you. Best of luck, and try to find out all these websites, because you know, if you have an idea, the money is no problem. So you will eventually find somebody funding your research. You see. Okay, all the best. Take care. Best of luck. Salim. Okay.